Alright, hi guys, welcome to Vexel Plays Minecraft, episode 5, and today I'm a little sad. If you don't want to hear me like trauma dump and whatnot, I would recommend clicking off now, because, yeah, I'm just going to talk about my day, and it wasn't a good day. So basically, today I woke up, I got about 90 minutes of sleep, I would say. I woke up pretty early, at like 8 a.m., I was under the impression that I had an interview at about 10. And at that time, the recruiter emailed me and said, basically, today is not a good day for her, which was fine. I didn't really mind too much. But, yeah, basically, I went to my class after that, and it just was not a good time. I got misgendered like 3 separate times. And it was just weird, I don't know, because everyone knows my name, everyone knows my pronouns, everyone's like pretty damn aware of this. So for literally everyone I interacted with that day to just gender me wrong today was kind of rough. Of course, it happens all the time. It's just like one of the things that happens when you're trans. It just happens, right? Anyways, on my way out of class, I'm having a convo with somebody in the class. I don't normally talk to them. I don't really know the people in there too well, but I did, introduce myself multiple times. So, yeah, she also ended up misgendering me. So today, off to an incredible start. And it wasn't like one of the days when I wasn't really trying. Not that should matter, but like, presentation, of course, affects how people will refer to you. But like, I don't know, I feel like I looked pretty damn feminine today. But yeah, so that sucked. Later on in the day, I got on the train, and some dude was just staring me down, just like looking at me. Apparently, like, mouth agape, just completely in disbelief that he was looking at a transgender person. Like, it's like, oh my god, look at this weirdo. And that really sucked. And then when I was on the bus later that day, the same thing happened. When I got off the bus, like literally as soon as I got off the bus, somebody like literally like pointed and laughed at me. I was like, I don't know. I know what I signed up for. Like, I was dressing feminine. Like, before I was sure whether or not I wanted to go on hormone replacement therapy, I was already dressing feminine. I had already, like, seen the look that someone gives you when they're basically looking at you and they would rather you not be there. Like, on the planet. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm sure you don't have them if you're not trans, but essentially it's this look of disgust. It's this look of disbelief. It's this look as if they could, they would put their hands on you and hurt you. And that was the look that I was getting today, and that was also the vibe that I was feeling today. And I don't know. It was just a hard day. And like I said, I mean, I'm pretty used to it. But I guess recently everything's been going really well in terms of that. There have been a couple times this week. There was a time today even when somebody was like, "Oh my god, I like your style." Or like, "Oh, you're so pretty." And like, I don't know. That means a lot to me. Especially because today was like the opposite of that. Yeah. And I know it's kind of it's common, I guess, to have a bad day. Like, I've had a lot of bad days, but this one was different, I guess. This one made me feel a certain kind of way because, I don't know, it just caught me by surprise how weird and cruel people can be without even saying or doing much. I guess today just felt weird. I've been like doing this, thing for like 2 years now, and a lot of the time it's pretty hard to feel like I'm moving forward, or like in a direction that feels like every day I feel a little bit more like myself. I can't say that honestly. And some days are really hard. Dysphoria is a bitch. And yeah, I don't know. Today just was real bad. And like, I understand that it's never easy, right? But I don't know. Today just hurt my feelings in a way that was a little bit not new, definitely not new, but I guess in a way that I kind of forgot it could. I don't know. This is what I chose. This is what makes me happy. So I can't be too worried about other people. And I don't know. I feel like being trans is a constant conflict between like how you see yourself and how other people perceive you. And sometimes I think I can't possibly bridge that gap. But I guess there's another side of me that knows I can, right? It's the me that looks in the mirror every once in a while, and I see her, like, and they're smiling at me, and it's like I could make it, right? Every once in a while it feels real. And I don't know if that's logical or delusional, but it's something, And I guess that something is enough. I think the life that I chose, not saying that being trans is a choice, but transitioning is a choice, right? I feel like the life that I chose is not for the faint of heart, right? Even though it's like the best time, right? It's the best time ever to be trans. Like, it was terrible before now. But it's not great, And I guess it's just really scary, like, seeing the way that people act. It's like they see someone like me and they feel emboldened to act the way they want to act and say the things that they're just thinking on their mind that they would not say to anyone else. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, I feel like I live in a pretty good place in terms of trans acceptance, right? But it's still kind of bad. And even like, and especially when I go home, right? It's terrible. Anyways, there was a time when I was in, I would say, rural Kentucky. Maybe not like rural, but like it was pretty middle of nowhere. Stopped at a gas station. It was me and a couple of my friends, and we went into the McDonald's. And usually I don't think too much about going in there, just because I've been there and nothing like crazy has happened. But there was this guy, and he was just like staring me down. Like, for the entire time I was in this McDonald's, right? I ordered, he was looking at me. I waited on my order. He was still looking at me. I received my order and was walking out the door. I looked back, and he was still looking directly at me. And of course, there could be other factors at play. Right? I'm black, but like, it's the combination of the things that just like, I guess, set him off. And I don't know, like, That's just a reality that I have to face. Some people are not only not gonna like me, but are gonna go out of their way to make sure I know that they hate me. And that's crazy. There was a time pretty recently where I was walking home with my friend, and there was like this guy who was just like sitting on the curb, right, of the street, and it was like him and somebody else who was just kind of there, like they were just bystanding, and he was like heckling me, I guess. He was like yelling at my friend, and he was yelling to him like, "You're walking with a nigga, you're walking with a nigga, where's your girlfriend?" And I don't know, that blew me. Like, I was like, yo, like so many assumptions were made, right, in that moment of like, we're not together. I'm not into guys, like, but I guess just like him seeing someone who looks like me walk with a man, the only thing that he could see me as was a sex object, which is so interesting to me. Like, he's like, "Where's your girlfriend?" You know, like calling me not a girl. Crazy thing is, like, he was pretty far away, so the fact that he clocked me, like, damn, kind of an L on my part. But like, be for real, that's such a crazy thing to have happen. I don't know, a lot of these experiences, they like happen in a flash, and they're like so sudden that it's like I don't even know how to perceive or interpret this. I think this is the first time I've ever like thought of all of these together, like in conjunction. It's like there is a pattern of people, just like random people, who disrespect me because they have a problem with the way I present myself. And that's crazy. There was this other time I was in Sunnyvale, California, once again walking home with my friend, and basically this dude, like, I don't know, we were having an A-B conversation. This guy literally appears from like a parking garage and just butts in. I was talking about like somebody having rich parents, and he was like, "Well, what's wrong with having rich parents, yada yada yada." And anyways, we have this long conversation. He was weird. He was very weird. He was a strange guy. But the crazy part was that he looked at me, looked at my friend, who is a girl, and was like, "I don't know if I understand the situation here." And he was like, "Because you," pointing to my friend, "look like a girl." And then he pointed to me and he said, "But you don't." And he was like, I don't really care what your sexuality is." And mind you, I'm wearing like sweatpants and a hoodie. And like, I don't even know. Like, I wasn't trying. And obviously he could tell that something was like a little feminine about me, I guess. Like, I honestly do not understand that interaction to this day. It's always like weird ass people who will go out of their way to say like the most hateful shit to you. And at the end of the day, I guess it shouldn't hurt me as much as it does. Right? Like, I don't know, people say shit all the time. Like, that's just what they're gonna do. And it's like, I don't know. How the fuck do I make light blue dye? Oh, maybe if I make a white dye. Let me do that. Perfect. I guess it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the only person whose interpretation really matters, right, is mine of myself. I mean, it's just really easy to forget that, quite honestly. You know, especially when a lot of your self-confidence, you know, hinges on how people see you. That's just how we're conditioned, and it's really hard to break free of that and just kind of be you. I don't know. I think a lot of trans girls are really hard on themselves, me included. I think a lot of that comes from like just being on social media, just seeing people who are like gorgeous, right? I mean, it's a process, obviously, and it takes time. And I feel like as obvious as it is, it's very easy to forget. Because, I don't know, a lot of like older trans people, like people who have just like, been through it all, they're like, yeah, you know what? When I was 7 years on HRT, that's when I really started to notice it. And I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are thinking about that. I don't know if people are really of the understanding that sometimes things just take a lot of time, right? Like it's an investment. It is like the investment. So I don't know. I think when we're doing something as hard as transitioning, like it's such a process. I would like list off the things, that you have to consider and do when you're transitioning, but I think I would just be yapping. I can talk about that any other time. But I don't know. I feel like giving ourselves a lot of leeway is really important. Just like extending grace to ourselves. It is really the only way. The process is just so interesting. There's just a lot of things that you would never consider until, you're there. And once you're there, you're there. I don't have regrets. I think on days like this, I just have to think about everything, I have to think about the broader context of my life. And I think that my time has been time well spent. I can't see anything happening any other way. Speaking of my speech class, we had to give a speech. I think the classification of the speech was like celebratory. I'm taking this because it's a grad requirement. I don't actually care about giving speeches. But yeah, basically we were given the option between doing a toast or a like celebratory award speech or like a roast. And I decided to do a roast. I thought it would be the easiest one to do. And so I did that. I think it went over pretty well. I had fun, but the day before I was about to give it, I guess I kind of had regrets. It's getting nighttime, so I don't want to die. So the idea was that I wanted to give myself, instead of doing the roast, I wanted to give myself a most improved award. Because I just think that would have been really cute. Really on the nose, of course. But really cute. I was never happy in high school, right? Like, nothing really ever made me happy, especially after, like, sophomore year. I was inconsolable at any given moment. Of course, I had some times that were, like, happy, but, overall, I did not have fun in high school. I don't know how many people really did, but I definitely didn't. And so I think just kind of seeing how I've grown and how I've actually, I've started taking selfies. I've started looking in the mirror and, seeing myself. I've started being able to reach out to people, being able to actually talk to people. I feel like, I don't know if I'm an extrovert, but I definitely feel like in the situation where I want to, like meet somebody, if I'm just like on campus or something and I want to say hi to somebody because I think they look cute, I'll just go and do it now. And I think that's so crazy. Like, if you told me that in high school, I'd have been like, what? And then if you told me I was transitioning when I was in high school, I would have been like, what? So, shit happens, things change, and I think that's awesome. I genuinely feel like I'm doing great. For a long time, I was under the impression that I peaked in high school, that I would never be as much as I was then. But I think just going off of happiness, whatever that is, happiness alone, I've already outdid myself by a lot. I should really be using scaffolds for this, but it's a little too late for all that. But yeah, like I was saying, I think I'm happy with how it all turned out. It could have been a lot worse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm grateful for just a lot of things and a lot of people in my life. It just feels like genuinely people care. People care a whole lot. I'm high-key following a reference for this flag. Not in terms of the colors, obviously, but in terms of the way that it looks. Just in terms of the texture, because that's not me. That's not my area of expertise. So yeah, I think this is as good as this flag is gonna get for now. I didn't want to build a 5 wide trans flag, so I tried to make a flag that has a little bit of motion. It's a little thinner. I'm definitely gonna keep working on it because this is not my final vibe, but I do like it for now. And yeah, I'm sure that's some kind of analogy in a way. But I guess my point in all this rambling is that I feel a lot of different ways, and it's I don't know, I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm excited, but I'm also scared. I'm scared of what's to come. I'm scared of how people perceive me, and I'm scared of what people might do if they don't like how they perceive me. But yeah, I guess I kind of just wish people would understand how easy it is to reverse somebody's progress.